Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the founder, the chairman, and the chief executive officer of MarketAmericaShop.com and our worldwide family of companies. Ladies and gentlemen, J.R. Ridinger. Ladies and gentlemen, J.R. Ridinger. Our founder, our chairman, our CEO. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up, J.R. Ridinger. Woo!
I love you. I love you a lot. Look, it's a rough business. I'm a tough guy, but I want to tell you something from the bottom of my heart. I love you so much. I love you so much. You know? Each and every one of you. Because it takes a lot of guts to get in a business. And I admire that. You're an entrepreneur. I remember when I was 20 years old, I went to Bermuda, and I saw these big houses and boats, and I asked an English gentleman, a black English gentleman who managed the estate, who are those people? He says, they're entrepreneurs. I had never heard of the word. Back then, it wasn't used much. He says, they are the alchemists of the economy. They create businesses, give employment, take the risk, and it's magic. They are the high priest of society and of the economy. I said, I want to be an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur. Congratulations. You're one. You know, I changed the title of this talk. It goes to show how little my people understand what I do. They called it recruiting. I said, I can't talk on recruiting. I don't recruit. I don't recruit. You see, I changed the title to prospecting, qualifying, sponsoring, and the plan. Because that's the process. That's what I do. And as soon as you try to recruit someone, they're not going to want to get in. You agree with that? I'm going to teach you a lot today. I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to go as far as I can, and if the time runs out, I'll be back again. So don't worry about it, right? Are you ready to have some fun? Let me ask you this. Are you ready to change? Or are you so stubborn in your mind that you think you know it all and aren't willing to learn anything or try anything new so that you can just stay where you are? Do you want to be right or rich? Well, some of you have not gotten rich and do not appear to be on your way. So you might want to change. That's all I'm asking. Will you give me a chance? Will you give me a chance? You know, I'll never forget the time that we have a lot of friends in the NBA, like, you know, Scottie Pippen, Melo Anthony. I was at the Hall of Fame induction in Connecticut, Hartford, Connecticut. And the Dream Team was there, the bus was there. It was amazing. I was standing out in the lobby with a bunch of these iconic players. They were joking around. You know, they love to joke around. And, Charles Barkley was there. He's a funny guy. And, they were kidding him. You're getting a little chubby, a little portly there, Charles. And you're just a has-been. A has-been. Pretty harsh words. Right? Charles didn't even flinch. He had the greatest answer. He says, well, it's better to have been a has-been than a never was. Have any of you felt recently that maybe you might be a has-been, but not a never was? Good question, huh? Because if you felt that way, or if you look deep down inside and that might be true, let me tell you something. There's nothing better than being in the game and being a star. And if you did it once, you can do it again. And it's a lot of fun. But you got to get off the dot. I remember when I used to prospect, sponsor, and recruit with Jerry Siciliano. We were dangerous together, absolutely dangerous. And we had an absolute ball. We had so much fun. And I remember that, by the way, I built this business 3 times from scratch. One time in the Big A, and it wasn't Amazon. I hit some records as the fastest growing. I did it again in my major company as the top pen level, and I did it a 3rd time here. I think I know what I'm doing because I repeated it 3 times. Now, I don't know if you know what you're doing. But Jerry and I used to whoop it up. And I remember he was 68, 1996. We had built a huge organization, and it was growing. And he put the heart back in the business. And he was on his deathbed, 68 years old. Some of you are approaching that. Some of you are older. Some of you are getting up there. And you better get some younger people, or people that were at least at your age when you started, or it might go away. But he said to me on his deathbed, he gave me his big eagle, gaudy eagle. He said, JR, I want you to know my secret scam so that you don't get mad at me later. I said, what's that, Jerry? He says, I'm going first, the first to go on the corporate team, and I have a reason. Everyone will have to be under me in heaven, including you. So look, you got to get proud of the business, and you have to know what you're doing. You can't go out and make this thing happen when you're not proud and when you don't know the answers. Now, you can empower yourself with the answers. You can learn the answers. You can practice the answers. But if you're not sure-footed, if you're not confident, you are going to stink. And it's going to be negative reinforcement. And it's going to condition you not to prospect, sponsor, and recruit. Now, you say you believe, but look at how many people you've influenced to look at the business or get in. That's a reflection of it. It really is. So if you haven't sponsored anybody or gotten 10 prospects in the last month, you're either a hermit or you don't quite believe enough and you don't have the answers and you're scared. Are you scared? Come on, admit it. Are you a little bit scared to go talk to the best person you know that knows the most people? A little bit embarrassed when they say, well, is it one of those, and you don't know the answer? Come on, tell me, talk to me. I'm trying to help you. Because let me show you how you do it. You finally get the guts up after listening to 3 audios, which will get your guts up, to go talk to that guy at work. and you go up to them and say, geez, Dennis, I've been meaning to talk to you for a long time because I know how ambitious you are and how driven you are and how influential you are. And I ran into this thing that's just really cool. It's really unbelievable. And I had to have a meeting at my house for some people to evaluate it, and I wanted you to be the first one. And so Dennis says, well, what is it? Well, it's Market America Product Brokerage and Internet Marketing Company. He says, a what? A product brokerage and internet marketing company. He says, well, what is it? Selling? Oh, kinda. But we do it with the shopping annuity and the internet and stuff like that. And you got the MPCP and all that, He says, well, are you making any money out of it yet? Who, me? Not yet. But if you get in, I know I'll get rich. Anybody identify with that? Come on. Look at yourself. It's funny. Ha, ha, ha. It's hilarious. Then others of you, I understand because I've been there. Do you understand something? I'm not an executive. Mark's an executive. I'm an unfranchised owner. That's what I am. I'm sorry. I'm one of you. So you can't trick me. So you go, I get you inspired. You came to this and spent thousands of dollars to be here, to sit in a hardback chair all day long, fight for seats, not go to the bathroom. Where else do you see that in corporate America? You're crazy. You're an entrepreneur. You're in it for yourself. But you go to talk to some new people after we crank you up. And you go and you want to talk to them. And so you get it started and you can't get it out. Do you want to get in something? Now, I call that mental constipation. You're mentally constipated. I don't know why or how it happened. It's not your fault. We got to get unconstipated. It doesn't feel good, does it? Come on, guys, have fun with me. So look, I am your mental enema. I'm going to loosen you up. I'm just going to loosen you up. Don't fight me. It'll be good to take a good dump. You might not realize how great you are until you take that dump. So qualifying and being recruited. What's the difference between you and me? Lauren and my big problem is we have too many people that want to get in. And I won't put somebody in the business or show them the plan unless I can do it right, because I don't want to ruin them. So sponsoring somebody is like having a baby. It's painful, and you're so anxious to get them out when you're pregnant, right, ladies? But you don't realize once they get out, the problems really begin. Because it takes 3 months to sponsor somebody of dedicated follow-up. I can't have a baby and set it out on the porch and expect it to grow up. I got to change its diapers. I got to love it. I got to feed it. I got to nurse them. Got to teach them how to walk, burp them. And then when they become a little kid, I got to make sure they don't run in front of a car. And then they get a little older, I got to make sure they're not influenced by bad people. True or false? It's exactly the same thing. A lot of my children have grown up in the business, and they're good, and they're stars, and they're solid. What about you? Okay, so what's the difference between you and me? Nothing special about me. No silver spoon, no great talents. Nothing to write home about, just a kid down the block. Big mouth JR. Well, the difference between you and me is, first, I told so many people that I was going to make it, and too many people where to go, that I either had to make it or leave town. There was no doubt about where I stood or where I was going. It was going to work because I was going to make it work. I didn't even care what the company did. I would make it work anyway. And then we would have everything. We didn't have anything when we started. You're all under me, Sorry. Well, we didn't bring any big hitters from other companies. Well, we brought a few, but they mutinied and tried to, take us over. They're gone. They don't make anything today. Working in car lots, stuff like that. People like Bowlings have a residual income. Kiefer have a residual income. Elizabeth have a residual income. High 6 figures, 7 figures. They chose the highway, not the low way. Not the shortcut, not the scam. The real deal. That's where I come from. So qualifying, is about prospecting in a conversation. The conversation gives me information. I'm not trying to get them in. I'm trying to find out about them and develop a relationship. The relationship comes first, always. So I don't recruit. They end up recruiting me. I'm going to say that again. I don't recruit. They end up recruiting me. That's the secret. So I'm making a friend and getting acquainted. You know what I found out? People love to talk about themselves. It's their favorite topic. So you don't have to be a conversationalist. Just get them talking about themselves. And be interested and ask questions. You'll find out that they love you now. So simple. Now think about the last month or two. Did you do that even once? You're looking for the missing keys, aren't you? Did you do that even once? You're so busy. Okay. Listen, God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. Listen twice as much as you talk. I know that you think I don't do that. But I listen to a lot of bullshit. So when you listen with 2 ears, they will expose their pain. Beautiful thing. Now they gave you the trigger. Or you'll learn about what they wish. Listen to this. This is really simple. And any one of you here can learn it and do it. Let me ask you a question. I was going to do this later. Let me ask it to you right off the bat. What would happen in this room if every single one of you, including you big whales is what I call the guys that are earning huge money, and when they get in the water, it pushes it all out of the pool because they're big. What would happen if every single one of you added 1 person this month? What would you feel? What would it do to your organization? 1 person, 1 good person. And that's all you focus on. Well, each one of you should have 2 legs. That means 2 new people in the legs, and you added 1. What would happen? How many pin levels? How much income? You want a solution? You came here to find something out? There it is right there. Do do something. Like Art Williams says, just do it. Just do it. I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay, so people talk about one of three things. I want you to observe this. The only learning is experiential learning. Okay? I'm going to tell you this right now. To learn how to do what I'm going to show you, you don't go and watch a video. You don't learn it from a seminar. You don't learn it on an audio. You hear it, but you don't learn it. There's a big difference. Does everybody agree with that? Okay. If you want to learn how to dance like Yardley ballroom dance, you don't watch a film or read a book. You learn to dance by dancing. If you want to do yoga, we call it practicing. Practice. If you want to practice yoga, you don't learn it by looking at pictures or videos or reading about it. You learn it by practicing. If you want to learn how to ski, you don't watch videos and talk to people who are good. You learn how to ski by skiing. If you want to learn how to speak a foreign language, you don't get Rosa whatever thing is. What is it called? Okay, well, that one. I took that thing and I threw it out in a week. You learn how to speak a foreign language by falling in love with somebody who speaks it. No, I'm just teasing. No, really, you learn how to speak a foreign language by speaking it. You learn how to prospect, not by going to seminars or listening to even tapes. You learn how to prospect by prospecting. You learn how to build, not by listening to Dennis Franks and his wisdom. You learn how to build by building with somebody who knows how. Because the only real learning is experiential learning. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a secret. Okay? The people that are good at whatever they do cheat. Not the way you do in the back office. They cheat, though. They practice when no one is looking. I'm going to say it again. You want to look good? You want to do well? You want to show success? Practice when nobody's around. And then when you do it, you look good. I'm telling you, that's what I did. I always cheat. I learned how to race car drive. I learned how to ski at, in my 30s and 40s. And I got really good at it. But I cheated. I had a residual income. I went out and practiced. Does this make sense? I am a high-level yogi. I practiced when nobody was around. So that I look. Is this making any sense to you? Am I connecting with you? So I want to tell you about the top performers. I know you're in awe by people who are great. That's a characteristic of an entrepreneur. We admire people who achieve, don't we? Don't we? Come on, be with me on this. Okay. We would like to be like them, but even if we don't think we can or are not one of them, we admire them. So I want to tell you about the top achievers in life. And Lauren and I have a collection. We have an incredible collection of the top performers in the fields of music, art, sports, business. It's a club. We never owe each other anything. We protect each other, and we're best friends. But I know something about them. The top people in this business, in the front row, the top earners, the executive directors, the field vice presidents, I know a lot of them. And look at the incomes and how good they are. But I want to tell you the truth. I know them personally. They're not that great. They really aren't. They're really no better than you. What is the difference between an average performer or somebody who plays out in the sea of mediocrity and a person who rises to the top in stardom, they do it a lot. That's the common golden thread. They do it a lot, whether it be a lawyer, a doctor. You don't want any doctor to practice heart surgery on you. He better have done it thousands of times. Or whether it be an athlete, they do it a lot. There is what you're looking for. You're going to search and search and search for the key, and it comes down to this. It's one simple statement. The people who succeed simply did what the people who failed didn't do. And when they succeed, they do it a lot. A whole lot. Anything else you need to know? You want to end right now? Because I just told you the whole deal. If you get done listening before I get done speaking, raise your hand and I'll stop. Okay. So listen and feed the wish your pain. You know, that's the reason for them to look at the business. When you find that out, that's the reason they need to look at it. Okay? Don't try to get them in. Have a possible solution for a problem that they have. What's it about? It's a solution to your problem about not having any time. You know, it's a solution to your problem, not being able to send your kids to private school. Whatever it is, this works. Bobby Cannata built with it. Steve Harris built with it. Elizabeth Weber built with it. I was with them and saw it, and they did it, and that's why they're at the top. What about you? What about you? I'm telling you, man, do not try to get them in. Get together. Forget getting them in. They'll ask to get in. So you got to work with big numbers. This is huge because timing is everything. Timing is different for every single person. Some of you would not have gotten in if you were shown the program at a different time. Isn't that true? So timing is everything. It's a reality. You might as well accept it. Its timing has to be right, and it might not be right. So just put them in the jar, the bean jar. Another time will be right. But you have to have the law of probability working in your favor because everybody's timing isn't right, and everybody isn't necessarily ready to listen. Okay? You need large numbers to get the ones who are. Because you don't want to get somebody in that isn't ready and then they have a bad experience and say, oh, that didn't work for me. True or false? Am I connecting with you? Okay. So those who you think will do it won't. And those who you think will not do it will. Surprising. Did you hear that? Yeah. Now, here's the real key. If done right, everyone leads to someone. If done right, everyone leads to someone. The way I do it. So I never end up empty-handed. You know, you can't say the right thing to the wrong person, and you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. If they are wrong and mentally constipated, or think they know it all. It doesn't matter what you say. 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 They will come up with another question not to do it. How many people agree with that? Have you experienced that? But by the same token, you can talk to somebody and be terrible. Screw it up. You're awkward. You say the dumbest things. It looks like multi-level, but it's not. It's the best multi-level in the world. That's the worst thing you could say. I say, what do you mean? How's it different? They will keep asking questions if they're right and get in no matter what. Are you hearing this? So when in doubt, blurt it out. You know, now some of you found the solution with fake people. That doesn't work either. So power in numbers, you know, timing's everything. And now I do all these demonstrations that are like parables. Because I know you don't remember anything I say, but you might remember the stunt or the demonstration or these crazy things that I do. And the point is, why do I show you filling the bean jar? You can put the videos on if you want. I do these crazy things. They become cliches. Fill the bean jar. Where is it? And I'm shaking that up. That's what I'm doing right now. Did you ever understand why I do that? It's not about getting anybody in. It's about filling the bean jar with lots of possibilities every day. Can you see the bean jar in a different way for once? Now, I don't know who it is that's going to do it, or who's going to be right, or who's going to lead me to people. You put one person in there and shake it so hard that you scare them. And they don't want to do it because you're trying to get them in. Are you getting this? Fill the bean jar first so you don't care who gets in. And then you'll find something else happens. Somehow the nuts rise to the top. Dennis Franks rise to the top. I didn't know Dennis Franks. I didn't know him. I knew a fraternity brother who knew somebody else, who knew a pharmacist, who knew a hockey player, who knew Dennis. And I showed the plan to Dennis. He didn't know what the hell I was talking about. But he said, "You sure are excited. With that type of enthusiasm, we can make something out of this." And Elizabeth Weber, I never knew Elizabeth Weber. I never knew Bobby Cannata. I shook the bean jar. One person led to another, and the nuts came to the top. And they sure are nuts. So that's what that means. But what are you doing? Come on, be fair with me. You're putting one bean in at a time. True or false? Can you change? Can you change that? Just before you try to get that one in, put another one in. Say, I want to increase my odds. Put another one in. If they don't get in, I'm going to feel bad. Put another one in. And keep putting them in until it's filled up, shake it, and you won't have to worry. The directors will come to the top. I swear to God, this is the truth and the whole truth, so help me God. I'm trying to help you. So at any rate, it's all about doing this. And here's a great thing that I learned. When you do get a nut, you don't really know if that nut will go all the way and actually succeed and become a director. Timing could change, things could go wrong. True or false? Okay? But guess what? Every nut has another bean jar. Every nut has a 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 bean jar of 300 more possibilities. So by working with that nut, I can't make that nut go do it. They don't know what to do. I shake their bean jar, and more nuts come to the top. It's easier to find people through a nut than it is filling your own bean jar. Wow, that'll hit you on the way home. In the middle of the night, you'll wake up. And that's what I show you on stage. And nobody goes out and does it. The answers you already have. We talk about pumps. Why do you think I do all these crazy things? Huh? To entertain you or to sweat up here? You see, the business really is like a pump. You get a pump. What you want is to prime the pump to get the liquid of life with a pitcher pump. Water, fresh water in an artesian well. But it's not going to come up unless you put something into it and work first, right? And if you do that with the bean jar and pump, you will get a prime, and people will lead to people, will lead to people, will lead to people, and you'll never have a problem again. But you haven't primed the pump. You got the pump, but you didn't prime it. Are you getting this? Say this for me. I got the pump, but I didn't prime it. I know I can prime it. So I will prime it. Was that so hard to say? You were just programming your brain. Now, let's talk about the agreement and contract to do the business when you started. Okay, now this is going to be hard. Do you want me just to be nice to you and you go back and nothing happens? Huh? Or do you want me to really help you? Okay, so look. Most of you don't even need to know how to prospect. You don't need to know. Because when you start, you're instructed and you agree to in an agreement. You know what an agreement is? It's a meeting of the minds. When two or more parties agree on how something will be done. It's a commitment. It's your honor. It's your integrity. Somebody else relies on it. True or false? You agreed to make a list of 300 people because the average person knows 300 people, but we only need 100 of them. The 100 that you are most likely to be able to contact. And we agreed to have a trial run and invite 10 or 20 of them to get started. And that then we will, for a year, 12 months, 356 days, 52 weeks, not 1 week. This is a business that earns you $100,000 a year. You don't have to pay $500,000 for it. So in the Getting Started Guide, it says that you will go and do 2 per week. Well, you do the first 20, and you have a great sponsor, a fabulous sponsor, articulate, impressive, mesmerizing, and they show the plan, and 2 people get in. You know why you activate? Well, you only activate because we're now going to build the business. And I'm going to work with you, and we're going to be sponsoring a lot of people in those 2 legs. Listen to me. Don't go, half of you are saying, did you hear what he said? How dare he say that on stage? There's ladies here and stuff. Well, they ejaculate too. I mean, what's the problem with you? Loosen up. But you say, you activate, and I activate. I say, oh no, it's over. It's over. That's like being a race car driver, and they throw the flag, bang the gun, it start, and you stall out in the starting line. You're just starting. The reason you activate is we want you to get credit and accrue that volume as we build it. Okay. So you agreed to do 2 a week for 52 weeks. Are you with me? 2 a week for 52 weeks. Now, how hard is it to do 2 a week? 2 calls a week. Not to get them in, but to tell them that you found something and you need them to evaluate it. They might know the right people. I know you're really busy, but you might know the right people, in which case it could mean something to you. What's so hard about saying that? Well, what is it? I'm brand new. I really can't explain it, but I have my partner here. We'll go over his internet marketing and something called the Shopping Annuity, where they take a piece of margin, kind of like social networking. They measure your footprint, but everything that everybody buys in that footprint, you get credit for it. I got to show it to you. Is this making any sense? Was that can you do that? I got to know. Can you do that? I'm not trying to get them in. Now, why would you want to get anybody in that can't lead to the right people? I don't let them in unless they lead to the people first. It's a tryout. Big difference between what you do and I do, isn't there? But you know what? Your way don't work, and my way does. Change? Change? Okay, so you're going to put 8 to 15 hours a week in. You want to go director. I suggest you go berserk for 90 days because it's easier to build fast and slow. But regardless, all we're talking about is when you go to work, you spend an hour getting to work, 8 hours there, getting beat up, an hour back. That's a lot harder than calling 2 people in a whole week. Don't give me your excuses. You can't call 2 people in a week and you want to make $100,000 a year. Come on. Let's get our priorities straight. It's not that you can't do it. Up to now, it's been that you won't do it. And you can change that right now. See? Now see, in MLM and networking, and in real estate, and in insurance, you have to keep sponsoring or bringing people in horizontally. And they're all in competition, and it spreads you thin. Have you ever heard this before? And it's really true. It's very hard and difficult to do. The miracle here is you can make more in 2 legs than they can with 10 offices or 10 sponsored people or whatever. And then they got to repeat it under there. You can do it all down 2. The reason for that is that it's very hard to sponsor 10 or 20 and keep them going, and they're all in competition. But if I can sponsor 10 or 20 and put them all down 2 lines, it takes off, and I make more money than I would have with the 10. So the reason we did it was so you could keep sponsoring down 2 legs and make money fast and help a lot of other people make money at the same time, all in the same motion. Miraculous. Why are you trying to screw it up? You don't stop sponsoring. You can do it. You know what I love about call workshops? You need a booster. You need a booster. You know, like when you take antibiotics, you take a booster. Or sometimes when you're getting drunk, you take a couple shots. You get ahead of the game. How many people know what I'm talking about? Come on. You're experienced at that, right? And successful. So look, you know, a booster is a call workshop where everybody gets together and you use other people's confidence and you're put on the spot. And you call some people and get some appointments. Jim Winkler developed this, and it works incredibly well. Now, what I love about it is it proves 2 things. Number one, they usually get, like in a group of 20, 100 to 400 new appointments, right? So what I love about this is it proves 2 things. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. Number one, it proves that you're not doing it. Come on, be with me. I don't want to talk at you. I want to have a conversation. True or false? And guess what? Number 2, what it proves is that you can do it. Okay. Where did you ever learn that you only have to sponsor 2 people? I never taught that. I never did that. The people that I brought out, man, Elizabeth Weber was a human vacuum cleaner. I mean, it was actually embarrassed me. Tony and Pam Bowling, every time I came to Baltimore, they had more people and more people and more people. We never stopped. What is this idea? I activated, now I don't do it anymore. And then the worst thing about it when you're not doing it, now listen really, really carefully. Stretch your ears. When you don't do it, your people duplicate you. They know you don't have any new people. They're at the meetings. They're at the second looks or the HBPs, the UBPs. You haven't brought anybody in a year. Why should they? Funny thing about the business is that people emulate and duplicate the way they were brought in. Even though they learn that it's wrong, they can't change it. We always go back to it. Isn't that a funny thing? So, if I'm sponsoring and have 2 a week, and they know because some of them are going down under them because I can't put them anywhere else, they do it. So now when everybody's doing 2 a week and gets 1 a month or 8 a year and putting 4 in each leg, bam! Field vice presidents, directors, all over the place. And guess what the good news is? You can do it. Quit looking for answers, you know? I don't know where you learned that. I didn't teach it. I don't do it, you know? So understand vertical marketing. The purpose of vertical marketing was not for you to get 2 and make $100,000 a year because it won't happen. The purpose of vertical marketing was to create a common economic bond in teams rather than being spread thin, rather than everybody being in competition, so we could sponsor more than 2, 8, 10, 20. What can you do? Because I got other people that are doing it with them at the same time. I don't have to handle everything, and it's experiential learning. This is the way we did it. Dennis said to me recently, you never put any downline placement volume under me. It's because I don't do it. If I do it, I don't tell you so that you think you did it. It's a terrible practice. And you never put anybody under me. Well, the reason is Dennis was already doing what was necessary to succeed. But I finally brought him somebody. Jennifer Lopez's dad and stepmother. Effervescent, and I know that they're going to succeed. But do you get my point? You don't get it, do you? I mean, I'm talking to the wall. Now, I know why your people don't do it. You're not doing it, right? Because I'm going to ask you some questions. I am going to get back in the field. You know, one of the great things that happened to me, one of the few blessings that have come out of this, other than what we are, is Mark Ashley. I mean, he was wet behind the ears as a college kid. He is one of the most astute, dedicated, disciplined, aware presidents and COOs that I have ever seen. And I don't need to run the operations of the company anymore. My goal is to clean up the problems, tune up the engine, rebuild the engine so it works right, and get back in the field with you working this thing like we used to. It's a lot of fun. But I know why they don't do it. They don't do it because you don't do it. Now, if you did it, everybody would start doing it. And what would happen to your legs? Huh? Come on, be fair with me. And the reason that it's not happening is simply you're not doing it. Who can change that? Okay, so look at this. If you have 100 people on a list, it's no big thing. You simply call 2 a week in a disciplined way, 2 a week to get them evaluated, not to get them in, but because they might know the right people. And you want them to see it. I would appreciate that, okay? You understand that? So, 2 a week, but see, then they lead the people. And they lead the people. When I get somebody that wants to try it, they give me another bean jar. And that adds beyond the 100. But most of you don't need to know how to recruit, let's be honest. You still have 100 acquaintances on your list that you have not asked them to evaluate it when you promised that you would, and that was the business deal. So whose fault is it? Why hasn't it worked? Oh, come on. Am I hurting you that badly? I don't want you to be in pain. I want you to be in ecstasy. I want you to be in joy. Okay, guys, can you do this? So if everybody did it, you would have 84 new go nows in the group, and all of these legs qualifying. Not only you making $187,000 a year, but other people making it. And you have the solution in your hand right now to leave this place and go do it. And you can do it. I'm telling you. Oh, man. I'm not shouting at you. I'm loving you. I want you to do this so badly. I want to see you come up here as a director when you were sitting there with nothing going. I want you to shut your friends and family up. I want you to stick that check in their face. I want you to quit that job, retire. And it's that far away, that far away. I'll do it with you. I'm going to tell you something. It's somewhere in here, but these things come to the top of my mind, and I might not get to it or forget it, so I just burp it out. Blah. Blah. Here's one for you. I don't know what the problem is. But I know, and Dennis, I know you know this, you lack confidence. You lack posture. You lack strength. You don't know the answers. You don't want to get in a badmouth contest with me over the business. Because I know and have thought out logically everything. And I have logical, irrefutable answers for anything that somebody asks or says. Do you hear that? So does Dennis. So when they say, well, is it like MLM? You just shrink and shrivel and disappear into a little turd. I have the answers. It's just like networking. You know? How many people succeed at this? All those type of questions, right? I have the answers. I can't do them here because I got to sit with you. So I'm going to book moving up seminars that I'm going to do and sit and go through with you and drill you and teach you, but you got to qualify for them. You got to demonstrate that you're willing to change. And I'm going to pick 5 or 6 places in the organization with a rising star, somebody that wants to build, that has a good attitude, that isn't mentally constipated, and do it over again. Instead of adding new legs, I'm going to just do it over again, Dennis, because I got this guy, Mark Ashley, who can run the company. So we clean up and tune up the engine, and we're going to be all right. I got to move on. So here's the answer to how you can handle more people. The plan's designed to handle a lot more. That's number one. Say it. You're not using it. You're not using it for what it's designed to do. The power of it not having to do it across doesn't mean that we don't do it vertically. We do it vertically. And we make more money than they do with 10 to 20. And then you don't have to duplicate it layer after layer to keep them in, which is next to impossible. Am I making any sense to you? Is there any revelations today? Does anyone want to be born again in the business? I mean, come on. You build the leg deep and it results in income for downstream partners and security too. I build security and profitability at the same time. Oh man, I mean, you're reading these things, right? I mean, it doesn't mean that you stop at 2. Profitability and security and stability are built at the same time, vertically in depth. And when everybody does that, you're going to hit, and people are going to hit 180, like we used to in the beginning, in the first 10 years when I did it with them. It can happen again. This can be a renaissance. And it's fun. Okay. It's actually easier to build. So we get the pump going. Now, my point is, the reason I do this is you only have to prime 1 pump. And then 2. And you do it with your team. That's doable, right? In MLM or real estate or insurance, you got to get a lot of agents, a lot of legs. And you got to prime all of those pumps. Have you ever seen me do this? And it's hard work. And you wear out. And then it's not even going to work because they each got to prime a pump with 10. And that's why it's so difficult for those things to happen. Are you listening to me? But now we put it all down to legs. So, what has changed? You see me prime the pumps on video, or on stage, right? A lot of work, sweat my ass off, and no result. But we can easily do 2. So watch this as I talk. What's changed? Things have only gotten better. We have more and better products, Dennis, than in the beginning. We have incredible unfranchised back office. That might be our problem. You can see everything now that you couldn't see. You can do things that you could never do before. That was done to help you manage your business and know where to work and help people make requirements. Help make sure that people did the requirements in retail. But now it's used for everything else, moving customers around, moving volume around, manipulating it, trying to suck every last penny out of the plan instead of sponsoring one more that would give you 10 times more. Oh yeah, I'm worked up because I tried to do something good for you and you turned it around to make you into a failure. You spent 3 hours a night on it. Why don't you spend 3 hours a night on sponsoring somebody? Tell me the answer. Tell me the answer. Don't take God's blessings or the company's blessing and turn them upon yourself to do the wrong thing. Use them to do the right thing. So, I have some questions for you. Now, this is interactive. Listen to me. Do you believe that I want to help you? You think I'm getting up here doing all this for my health? Or to train myself? I do talk to myself. By the way I do this is I'm not really talking to you. I'm talking to myself through me to you. And if you happen to overhear it, congratulations. If you don't, too bad. It wasn't meant for you. You get that? I'm talking to myself. So I don't know you all like I used to. It really hurts me. I'm not there with you. I don't know. So I need to know. I need to understand why certain things are happening, both for the whales, the intermediate level, and the new people. And you're going to learn this weekend that everything's changing. We're going to move into digital aggregation and polling, where if there's 10,000 people in this room all that buy the same product, even though everything else you buy different, we'll use that to go to the manufacturer and say, we don't want the average commission on all the stuff on your site. We want to cherry pick that one product because everybody wants it, and we don't want 5%. We're going to feature it. Everybody's going to buy it. We'll guarantee it. We want 20%. You have that power. I just want to use that technique here for you to tell me the truth. This is like being in the Catholic Church and going to confession. Can we have a confession? Please. You'll feel better. I'll get it, and it can be sent to your upline leader if you want it to. Okay? So it's not easy as it used to be, people tell me. How can that possibly be with having so much more? It doesn't work. My question is, what's changed? What's changed? You got better products? We don't just have trim drops and a few things like that. We got the most. One thing that the last year or two has proved with all the things that have gone on is undoubtedly we have the best products in the world because nobody tries to pull a scam on auctions with products that stink. Only the best in the world. Right? Maybe the problem is that you stopped working and took a hiatus or a hibernation or never really even got started. Because if you're not a master unfranchise owner, I hate to tell you this, I'm not trying to be mean to you. You've been misled. You haven't even opened the doors to your business. It's not open. It's the same as owning a shop or a McDonald's or whatever and nobody in there. How many people heard that? So you didn't even start. And that's great because now you don't look so bad. You ain't been in a year, you've been in one day. Is this making any sense to you? I want you to forgive yourself. The problem for some people is that the plan works too well. And somehow they got the right two people and the team above was so good they worked it and they get checks all the time and they don't do anything. You miss all the fun. So let me ask you these questions. Now, on your phone, you go to this site. I'm asking you, please. Now, look, I'm going to find out if this did any good. I'm going to find out if you're insincere. I'm sincere. Do you believe that? Do you believe that? I got to know what's going on with you. And I'm going to pick some people to work with. But if you don't fill this out, let me tell you what it means. You're not in. You're not in. You may think you're in. You might have signed something, but you're not in. And if you're in and you don't do it, you're not awake. And you don't care. I care. I'm willing to get this stuff and go through it. That's how much I care. When's the last time you personally sponsored a new unfranchised owner? Now, some of you guys that are earning big checks, I can check. You can't lie to me, but I want you to answer. It doesn't matter if it's bad news. You don't need to be embarrassed. I understand that. I want to change that for you. I want to help you, not hurt you. But if you won't tell me the truth, I can't help you. The biggest mystery to me in life, in this business, is why doesn't everybody succeed? Because it requires so much less than anything else in the world that if you can't succeed at this, you can't do anything. We eliminate all of the excuses or the barriers, the size of your bank roll, investment, not having any time, not knowing anybody, not having an education, all the things that are normally necessary to succeed in any other field of endeavor or any other enterprise, which prevent you from doing it and prevent the average person from doing it, are removed here. So what's your excuse now? I need to know. That's all. So how many did you do in the last 5 years? The last 10. We have people that have earned 6 figures for 20 years, 15 years, 10 years, 6 figures that haven't been to a convention in 10 years. I think they should be required to. But the plan works too well. So have you ever made a list of 100 people? Answer this question, please. Acquaintances required in getting started guide. And call 2 people per week for 52 weeks like you were supposed to and agreed to and signed the contract to do. Oh, I skipped a getting started guide. Good thing to tell me. Good thing to tell me. Now we know why it's not working. How many people wonder sometimes in their mind if the business works or not? Or maybe you know it works, but I don't know if it'll work for me. That's a terrible thing. Let me take that away so that you don't have that anymore. And it works for you. Is that a deal? Come on, guys. When was the last time you called 2 people a week? Now, you get your phone out in the concourse. There's this thing, and you fill this out. I will know the effectiveness of this convention and how many lives I touched or light bulbs went on or billions of a volt went off by your response. And isn't it beautiful? I will know it's you. Ask these people. I go through thousands of emails. I answer questions all the time. I am the most accessible CEO and crazy one in the world. Have you asked your mentor, leader, senior partner to assist you in making calls? Have you or have you not? You're afraid to do it. Have you asked anybody to do it with you? Have you or have you not? Now, if they won't do it with you, please write me. If they won't do it with you, because Dennis, if I have somebody that said, man, I really want to get going, I have a list of people, I want to make some calls, will you help me make the calls? That is pure joy. That's a gold mine. Why wouldn't you? It's easier for you who have not been sponsoring or bringing people to find new people through somebody that wants to do it than to do it yourself. And all you got to do is show off. Am I making any sense? Am I hurting you? You know, I don't love to motivate people because it don't do anything. Oh, I'm excited. Yay, yay, yay. Market America. Rah, rah, rah. I like to irritate people. So if I'm irritating you, thank you, God. And you're wiggling in the seat a little bit, because I never seen anything great ever done until somebody got fed up and got honest and got irritated. So I hope that you get irritated and know that I love you and I'll help you. When was the last time you showed the plan? When was the last time you showed the plan? Can you show the plan? I want to teach you how to do it and how to get everybody to do it, called the commentator routine. I have all these solutions. Whatever you're not doing, and that's making it not work, I know how to fix it. But you don't listen to me up here. So and for some reason, the people above you are comatose or hibernating or whatever. I need to know about that. When was the last time you showed the plan in someone's home or location? When was the last time? Ask Andrew. How many times have we do it? My new leg is in UK. We hold 8 meetings a day sometimes. Every night we drive an hour into the hood. People can't believe it. The CEO of the company is in their living room. And then I book follow-ups in the next house and the next house. I do it. Why can't you do it? Tell me why. I don't understand. When was the last time you got someone to try a product and sold a product to a new customer or an existing customer? Come on, when was the last time? Can you write it down? It might be a good answer. And if it's not, we're going to change it. I'm going to help you get out of it. I don't want you to tell me and say, oh, you're no good. I want to help you get out of it so that you make 6 figures. Is this fair enough? But I can't do it with you all sitting out there, like you're specs to me. I got to connect with you and get other people to connect with you. Is that fair enough? That's how I built the business. I'm going back to it. I'm not moving you. When was the last time you qualified or requalified as a master unfranchised owner? Because you got in 8 years ago doesn't mean that you've been in 8 years. You got in 8 years ago and signed up. You might have been a master unfranchised owner for a year, and you might have built for a year. But then you went on a hiatus. That's okay. It's okay. Or you might have signed up 6 years ago, but only been in 2 months. Because when you add up the days that you were actually open and did any of the result-producing activities, why are you making yourself look bad and embarrass the rest of us by saying, I've been in 8 years and I'm only an executive coordinator, and it's a 2 to 3 year plan? You're lying to yourself. You're making yourself look bad. Why don't you be honest so that you can look good? And you need to know this. You need to measure, monitor, adjust, and control, and confess, and be honest. And now you can forgive yourself. You cannot have redemption without confession. That's all. How many master unfranchised owners do you have in your group? All that means is their business is open. Did you personally bring anyone new to this convention? Ooh. Now, if you did, hallelujah, hallelujah, because that's the shortcut to success. Ever since the beginning, I paid for people to come to this that weren't sure, that were just new, or that needed revitalizing. Because it's the only thing that might change everything. And it accomplishes 6 months of work in one weekend. It's the best advertising money, the best promotion money, best marketing money one could ever spend. Because if they don't get it here, and if you can't move them here, and if you can't get them to commit it here, forget about doing it at home. Did you have anybody here? Okay, it's a past. Learn from it. Forgive yourself. I forgive you. But don't let it happen again. Don't be back in the confession booth next year. Okay. When was the last time you personally brought someone to an international convention? It's a good one to repeat. Do you have an up-to-date goal statement and action plan? Do you? Hello, I have one. A goal statement. What do you want? When do you want it? What are you willing to give in return or commit and do in time or money or whatever? And a detailed plan so your conscious mind can understand it and not argue with your unconscious that you ain't no good and it can't happen. That you can logically understand how you're going to get there, and then you can execute and work with your sponsor to do it. Why don't you have that? You want to fail? No, you don't. Change. Just change. It's simple. But now, the other things might happen. Have you taken the shopping annuity assessment? Yeah, 2 years ago. Took too much time. It was too hard to get stuff. All that's changing. If you got into business in 1992, 1993, you would understand what hard is. We had to call everybody up and add up the volume manually, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. No products, selling a dream. Okay. Have you ever prospected someone by talking about the shopping annuity? Now, we're going to go over it this weekend. I have a plan, like going to the moon. They had Apollo, Mercury, and Gemini. Now, when Kennedy said in 1961, the Joint Congress and to the world, he risked tremendous embarrassment. And he said, in this decade, we will go to the moon. I mean, that's outer space. Nobody does that. The saying back then used to be, you have as much chance as doing that as putting a man on the moon, used to be the cliche. And we did it. Now, those 3 phases are in place. We're going to show you this weekend what's going to change it all. What's going to make it easy. What's going to make it avalanche. Why it's a disruptor. So then, if that happens, will you take the assessment? Because we need the information to do some things to make it work for you. And you'll be amazed. Okay. If no, why not? I don't understand it. It takes too long. I don't believe in it. I'm not sure how to do it. It didn't do me any good last time. Hey, listen, I'm a big boy. Give me the answers. And then let's get back to sponsoring, prospecting, recruiting, qualifying. And I'll teach you how to do it. So let's fill the funnel. Let's shake the bean jar. Let's get the nuts to rise to the top. Let's go out and have some fun. Let's find some nutty people and shake their bean jar. That's what I want to do. That's why I'm being rough with you. And trial runs are what lead to the whole thing. Trial runs. Right here. So when I show the plan, now listen to this. I'm telling you exactly some of the things that I do that you're not doing. When I show the plan, when I end, ask Andrew. Every time it's like a recording. Now don't worry about understanding all this. And my God, if you understood the whole thing, God bless you, the smartest person in the world. Okay? It really could be mind-boggling, and that's really not the most important thing. At the beginning of the night, I ask you if you preferred the 2 to 3 year plan or the 45-year plan. And we already know, and you're an expert at it, the 45-year plan doesn't work. And you agree with that still, right? Yes. So which do you prefer? This is qualifying. It's an attitude. It's a methodology. The most important thing about it, it works. And what you're doing isn't working. Yes, I prefer, oh no, I want the 45. I like my job. Good, there's no use showing you the rest of it tonight. Let's talk about the ball game. Let's talk about something else. And I make a friend out of them. I don't want to go through that whole thing for nothing to somebody that doesn't want to do it or doesn't qualify to do it. Besides that, if they get in, guess who has to go to work? I just had a baby. I don't want to be changing their diapers. Are you getting this? So, don't worry about understanding all this tonight. My goodness, you understood the whole thing. God bless you, the smartest person in the world. I didn't understand the whole thing either the first time. I was the one that created it. It took me 3 times to understand it. You know? But that's not the important thing. You chose a 2 to 3 year plan over the 45-year plan. Right? Yeah. That means a lot to me. And because of that, I'm willing to invest some time in you because you don't know what to do. And I do. And test it out. Try it out. And what I mean by that, it's a trial run. You can't get in until you see it 3 times. You have to see it 3. It's amazing how people say, I saw it the second time, only one more time, and I can get in. They start trying to recruit you. The first time, it's going to create more questions than it answers. How many times have you heard me say this? The second time you say it, you'll see things that you did not see the first time. And the third time, light bulbs will go off, and sometimes even fireworks go off because you realize what can happen. Then it's just a question of whether it will work for you. And I don't want to invest months of my time working with somebody that it won't work with. So we both might as well find out by testing it out. No kit, no sign up. You know, a professional sports team scouts and screens through thousands of athletes to pick 5, to pick 9, to pick 22, right? A corporation that's hiring vice presidents or executives screens through hundreds of people, has interviews, and screens it down to 1. They don't take the first person that walks in the door. Why do you? I'll give them a tryout. Here's the thing. You can be a walk-on like Vince Papale or Dennis Franks and be invincible. And you make the team. You get this? So, I say, look, I'm willing to put some time into this, and I have this down to a science. If I do this with you, it's almost definite that you'll end up making 6 figures. Not because of you, because of me. And I'm willing to do that, but you have to be cooperative, coachable, and enthusiastic. And I'll do this with you for 30 to 90 days to test it out. And what I mean by doing that, is we will get some people to evaluate it. If you feel uneasy, I'll help you call them. We just get them, not to get them in, but to get them to evaluate it, to see if they know the right people. In which case, they can have an option to be part of the team. But why would you want to bring on anyone anyway if they didn't know the right people or couldn't sell any product or get anybody in? So I'm going to find out before I get them in. That's how I built the whole company. What happened? Do you do that? No, you beg them. I don't see how you can lower your self-esteem to that level to be stepped on, laughed at. Not everybody gets into Harvard, but I can get you in. You got the connections. That's a great one. I got the connections. I'm working with the top person in the area. They make $1 million a year, and they've chosen me as the next one. And I need to get a team together to get it off the ground. I need you to evaluate it to see if you know the right people or if you think it'll work. What's so hard about doing that? Huh? Is it going to bruise your ego or confidence? No, when you try to get them in, you get your confidence bruised. So, we do a trial run. Each person chooses a 2 to 3 year plan. I don't worry about signing them up. I used to love when we used to have the kits. You know, the subscription now is all online. I used to get the box, you know, they say, when can I get my kit? I have product. People don't want to buy product. And see, what happens is after doing this for a few weeks, we have a lot of people that are doing trial runs. And somebody wants to order product. Or somebody wants to get in. I say, I don't know what we're going to do. None of you will get credit for it. I guess we got to stop and have a sign-up night. And that night when everybody signs up, they go coordinator, executive coordinator all in one night. Santa Claus is real. Are you getting this? Can we do it? I mean, okay. So trial run, test marketing. They end up getting 2 to 4 people in. Now watch this, watch my lips. There's no decision to make. There's no decision to make. It's not whether you're going to get in or not, sign the application, I got to register. It's let's do a trial run because you chose a 2 to 3 year plan, and I'm willing to invest some time in you to determine if you qualify and if it'll work for you, because there's no use doing it if it won't work for you and it won't work for me. Do you agree with that? Yeah. Okay. Isn't this beautiful? Okay, so there's no decision to make at the end of the night. No, not do you want to get in, when you want to sign up. No, I used to take the box. I used to love the box. And I'd say, open it up. They would open it up. I said, there's something really important in there. It's the most important thing of all. I want to make sure you don't miss it. So they take it out. Well, what is it? I say, you'll know it when you see it. And I look at that. We shake the box. They're pulling the stuff out, looking through the junk. And I say, notice something. There's no people in there. It doesn't mean anything. It's the people that mean something. So, 3 ways, incredible. Having trouble getting people in? Elizabeth Weber used to be the all-time star of this. You find out about the person. No, you would not do it without finding out. We know enough about them that we'll get on with the person. Now, what I love about this, and the reason that she learned to do it, was that quite often when somebody invites their best people, they get blown out of the business because the person is superior to them and beats them up. But what does Elizabeth really want? She wants that good person that's well connected. This person knows them. They'll connect me with it. Why should I let them do it and blow it or get blown out themselves? I'll do it with them. It's the same as you personally sponsoring them. Are any light bulbs at all going off in here? 3 ways work. A profile sheet. Go back to the old stuff, Bobby. It worked then, it works now. Call workshops. Hey, you don't know how to do one? Do you have any guts? Are you the big shot in the group, the big leader? Why don't you show them your stuff? Can you make a jump shot? Can you make a layup? Or you all talk? Let me see you call a workshop with your people and get on the phone and get some meetings booked. That's where the rubber meets the road. Oh, I can't do that. Why not? Now, if you can't do it, go upline. Go upline. If you have to go all the way to Jim Winkler, to Dennis Franks, to me, and book a call workshop for your group and get 100 appointments. Wow. What would happen if that happened in this room? We couldn't fit in here next time. And my dream would start to come true. My dream is to fill this place with directors. And that's why I'm talking to you right now. This has to happen for it to happen. And we can make it happen right here. You get it? So, if that upline won't do a call workshop for you, that means that they're not priming the pump. I want you to write me or call me so I can have a talk with them. You hear me? I mean it. I'm committing to do it. If you actually go and want to have a call workshop and get the business restarted and prime the pump again, and they won't do it, maybe they don't deserve to be your upline. And maybe I should move you to another line where somebody will do it because it's their management responsibility to do it. You're not automatically entitled to that volume. It's a management performance compensation plan, not the entitlement plan. So, here's the process. I got 64 minutes and 53 seconds left. You need a break? Okay, here's the process. Understand the process. This is the playbook. When you join a basketball team, football team, there's playbooks, right? This is the playbook. This is how we do it. You ready? You focused? You need to scratch your butt? Pinch the person next to you. Make sure they're awake. Come on, pinch them. Be careful where. But, okay, so here it goes. Okay, these are indispensable parts of the process. One step leads to another. If you don't do the steps and connect the dots, it doesn't work. If you do it, it always works. So execution is important. Whatever you have been doing, let's look at your result. You answered the questions. It ain't working your way. Do you want to fix it? Why did you come here? Why did you spend all this money and sit in a chair out there? You want to hear somebody motivate you? Oh, you're so wonderful. You're so great. I love you. I love you. I love you. You're an unfranchised owner. You're broken. It doesn't work, but I love you. And just stay in and someday it'll work. That's what you want to hear? I'm doing brain surgery, man. Brain surgery on you right now. I'm cracking your skull open, pulling it back, taking your brain out, washing it, and sticking it back in. And tomorrow, I'm going to reprogram your brain to become a hopeless success. So it's not even up to you. Well, one leads to another. You prospect by having possibilities and cultivating them. Not one bean in the jar bothering them. 100 beans, 300 beans, all the time, adding possibilities. That doesn't mean that they're a prospect even yet. They're a possibility. They might know the right people. Possibilities aren't necessarily right for the business, but they might know the right people. See my head? Possibilities lead to prospects using the evaluation and referral technique. You know, Andy, we've been talking here, and you know, you seem to be intrigued by computerization and everything. I run across this thing called the Shopping Annuity. And it's kind of like social networking. You know how like you build a following? Except they have a way with this technology of finding out what you buy and tracking it and getting a better price and a better deal and paying you a residual income by extracting a piece of the margin. I know you've done a lot of marketing things. I'd like you to sit down and take a look at it and tell me what you think. And if you know some of the right people in the area, because I'd like to expand down in Maryland, there might be something in it for you. That's called, in New Jersey, an offer too good to refuse. Can you do that? Okay. Am I teaching you real things today, or am I giving you a bunch of hype? Okay, so one leads to the other. One leads to the other. You have to connect the dots. Okay, so you prospect by having possibilities and cultivating them. When I meet somebody, I might meet somebody in the lobby of my building. They live in the same building. I say, hey, give me your number. You know, we both live here. We know there's problems. We might be able to help each other out. So you never ask somebody for their number or information unless it makes sense to them. You hear that? Elizabeth Weber used to do it, and it didn't make any sense to them. She just was loud and excited. What do? Oh, we teach people how to make $2,100 a week without leaving their job. The person asked a question. Oh, if you're interested, I'll be back in the area for a while. Give me your number. I'll come back and see you. Did that all day long. We go down the boardwalk in Ocean City, and she'd have a fistful of numbers. Possibilities lead to prospects using the evaluation and referral technique. Did I teach it to you? Did I teach you the evaluation and referral technique? Now you know it. Prospects are qualified through trial runs. I don't know if I'm going to sign them up. I don't want to sign them up. I got to work too much. Let them lead to the people. Let me see if they're coachable. Let me see if they don't have any people. Let me ask you this question again. If they can't lead you to any people and they can't sell any product, why do you want to sign them up? I don't know, I feel like Bobby Knight. I'd rather be Coach K, but I'll start kicking chairs over in a minute. Sponsoring 4 per leg. Okay, so sponsoring is a process of mentoring, coaching, doing it with them. People only learn experientially. They only do what you did with them. Even if they know it's wrong and we go to correct it, they still do it wrong. Did you hear that? So I'm very careful. Listen, I'm a big shot. I got lots of money. I got so much stuff in my head that I can dazzle anybody. But I keep it simple and make sure I do it the same way every time, because they have to duplicate it. It's funny, after Lynn, there he is from UK, he's my star there, him and Michael. After I've done it 10 times in different homes, they turn to me and say, you say the same thing every single time. I said, you finally got it. You finally got it. You guys getting this? Okay. Social networking. Incredible opportunity. I remember when I used to tell you about social networking 8 years ago, and you all thought I was nuts? Oh, man, our daughters will get raped, and there'll be all types of bad stuff happen. And I know. I tried to start a social network myself. What was it called? I can't even remember. Chatterbox. Regardless, it was an idea whose time has come. And you can't stop an idea whose time has come, and it's taken over. So I don't got to do it. And you're using it anyway. But this is an incredible opportunity to create interest and curiosity. Look, you have a lot of friends on those things, and you're here. An incredible, exciting event of entrepreneurs. There'll be all types of cool experiences. Get your picture taken with stars. Put it out there. It creates, wow, where were you? What did you do? What do you do? Now, Uncle George had an ingrown toenail last week, and we had to pull it out. Here's a picture of it. Look at it bleeding. You get my point? Tremendous opportunity. So show off. Hey, my baby, my little angel. That's my why. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. The key to all of this, folks, is do one thing today or tomorrow to start the process. Okay? If I'm wrong, tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why you're here. Don't be the type of person that gets talked into coming to something like this, or spends their own money on their own volition and travels all the way hoping for better to find something out, sit in a hardback chair, hear this stuff, and then not do anything. Please don't be like that. It's just discipline, okay? The entire company was built this way. Are you hearing me? I don't know what you're doing now. I don't know what your upline or your group system is, but there's only one system, the unfranchised system, and this is how the business was built, and it works. So if it's not working for you, maybe you should go back to the basics. So understand the process, okay? Prospecting, qualifying, and sponsoring. Notice that I even got the slide wrong. Become what I call a hopeless success. I turn somebody I bring in, it's not even up to them. Through this process of them leading the people into a hopeless success. You don't need to worry about signing them up. It's going to come up anyway. And when I have two people under them that I'm personally working with that are my people, because until I'm earning $3,600 a week, every week with people underneath earning $3,600 a week, they're all my people. You see? But, I say, Big Al, who's going to sponsor these people? You or me? His mother didn't have no dumb kid. What's he going to say? I said, well, I think what we should do is have one or two more meetings and put some people under them to see if they qualify. You see, are you getting this? Oh, please, if you're not getting it, I can end right now and everybody can go out and have a break. You know? So get clear about the business. What is the alternative? What is the alternative? Do you understand what it takes to start a brick and mortar business? The type of money, the type of problems that there are? Compare it to this. And none of them, at the end of the day, after you're successful making six figures, you got an expensive job. There's 27 hours a day until you get into business for yourself. It never ends. And then when you leave, you want to sell it, you might get your money back that you invested if you made it, and 95% of them fail and go bankrupt. Do you want to go bankrupt? Here you fail, nobody knows. You don't even have to put the money up. Maybe that's the problem. So you fail and you lose your home. You have to beg relatives to bail you out, live with somebody else. Not here. At the end of the day, you sell that business, you might get your money back and a little goodwill, maybe an extra $100,000. How long is that going to last you? A year or two? You do this for 2 to 3 years the way I'm showing you to do it. And stop making excuses. And stop being mentally constipated. Stop lying to yourself. Start telling the truth. Set the clock back. Open your business by becoming a master UFO. There's little things. Why did you come here and spend all this money and time? Make it count. You do that for 2 to 3 years, you have a residual income for life, 6 figures. The business you sold, now you got to go back to work in another 2 years. Do you understand that? That we have the solution. So become a master recruiter. It starts right now. You don't even need to know how to do the things that I can teach you about how to recruit. What you really need is answers. So my moving up seminars, I'm going to make sure you understand why this is not multi-level and how to answer it. Why this is not network marketing. It has an aspect to it. Why this is the reverse of that. How the preferred customer system really works in the tracking system. How you can use the shopping annuity, okay, not to become a device that sidetracks you, you know, not to take BV, Market America BV, and put it into the IBB plan where it doesn't belong, so that the people that are already maxed out at the top in checks can earn another check on the same organization from BV that should be going under the other people to help them hit checks. None of that. Just what it takes to make it really work. That's all we want, right? We don't need to fight over anything or debate or win. Just make it work. So, expectation of a new distributor, 100 people. You signed the contract. Getting started, guy. I'm not bringing anybody in that won't make that list. And all we do is 2 a week. Easier than going into work one day, right? And from that, we make the calls, we set the appointments, just to simply see if they know the right people and if they want the 2 to 3 year plan. I'm qualifying them. They don't, why worry about it? I'm going to be their friend. I'm going to be nice. Lauren and I have more friends than we know what to do with. You know? But the reason is we're alive. And we're honest, and we're real, and we're not pretentious. We just get down with them. You know, and it spreads. So if they agreed, okay, if they agreed to it, proven fact is regardless of how rough or unconfident you are, how lousy you are, you just stink. When you talk, everybody runs. If you do this 100, 2 a week, work with the upline, no matter how bad you are at the business, 2 a week times 52. 52 weeks, 2 a week is 104. That's 4 over. You did more than you were supposed to. You did 104, Al. It was 100. You can send the other 4 back. I guarantee you, you'll have 8. No matter how bad you are, you'll have 8 go nows. Now, you might not know what to do with them, but because of the vertical nature of the plan and everybody doing that, it's being done with teams, and there's enthusiasm because everybody's getting in. And they catch the wave. And you sitting in that chair right now, feel yourself, rub your butt in the chair. Rub it. Wiggle. Come on, I don't see you wiggling. I want you to know that your butt is on that chair. Your butt will be hitting professional, supervising, national, and the next year director. You, each and every single one of you. And you can do it. And you can do it. So you stack 8 to 4. You know, we work down in depth. You're going to be making $187,000 a year. Look at my new car. Look at my vacation. Look at my new house. Does it work? You tell me if it works. Take a look at me. Will it work for you? I don't know. Probably not. You're probably too mentally constipated. You'll have fun. I joke with people. People ask me all the time, how can I do what you're doing? They see our lifestyle, our friends. I say, I don't know if you can do it. You're too busy. You think you know it all. You know, I don't know if you can do it. I don't know if I want you to do it. But I'll show it to you. And we can talk about it. I'm taking it away from them. Shake the bean jar. Is this doing any good? I need to know. Fill it up. That's step 1. Fill it up. 2 a day. Okay? Become a master recruiter. Jump over that. Okay? Be aware of it. Be friendly. Use the 4 method. Talk about family, occupation, recreation, and it leads to money. What if I could show you how you could take those vacations? That's why I did it. I'm able to now. How does it work? That's what I got to show you. Best answer to what is let me show you. People talk about three things: what's happening, how rotten things are, and the way they wish things were. So when they talk about how rotten things are and the way they wish things were, they were giving me the reason and the ammunition and the lever to get them to see it. Be aware of it. Be friendly. 3-foot rule. Say hi to everybody. Find out their name. Write it down. Remember it. Remember it next time. What's the reason that there's a connection? Their kid goes to my kid's school. They ride the same transit. Whatever it is. They work out at the same gym. Have a reason. Just don't go up to people and say, give me your number. I mean, come on. Deal with a large number of people. Cultivate possibilities. Write the possibilities down. Write the possibilities down. To see your progress and make a point to try to reconnect, to cultivate the relationship. What's so hard about that? Add possibility lists daily. Review the list. Have the list. Show it to your upline. Talk about it. Don't be over anxious. Don't try to get them in. Fill the jar first. Cultivate possibilities. Don't recruit. Write the possibilities down. Take notes about them. You know what everybody does is they meet people all the time. They get their name and they can't remember. Oh, how you doing, honey? Hey, bud, how you doing? Instead of George. Don't we all do that? Make a difference. Don't be over anxious. Don't try to get them in. Set appointments or pass information so that they can evaluate it and then get back with them. If I use a video, I'm the commentator. Just don't send them a video. Go through it with them and talk through it. Book 3 appointments per day. This is the Weber method. When they went on a campaign to do this, she jumped 3 pen levels in 3 years. But 5 days per week, weekend to catch up, double any day you're short. There's consequences for not hitting it. We hold people accountable. You decide the time period. And then we use tools. But by doing that, 30 people, 10, 2 a day, you're going to get the 2 meetings a week. Does everybody understand that? Okay. So share videos. Have the tools. We didn't used to have them. And we give you all this stuff, all of this technology, all of this stuff to make it easier, stuff that none of us had, and it isn't worth a pile of beans that aren't in the jar. You catch that one on the way home. If you have the beans in the jar, it makes you be able to do a lot more, a lot faster. You know, so you have to have goals with deadlines. Stay focused. Documentation. Just don't do it and nobody knows about it. Put yourself in a program. Be held accountable. Measure it. Do it together. Be a good upline and a coach. So, names list of 60 to 100. Learn the answer to what is it. The referral approach. Use your upline if you need to help you. Okay? Develop the approaches. Learn the themes. And then don't get them in. Make them come back to a second meeting to see it again, because you got to see it 3 times. Work the ABC pattern with the trial run. 90-day follow-up with the distributors down in depth to make sure that they're on course. Measure, monitor, adjust, and control. Get these steps 1 to 9 and repeat and duplicate them over and 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 over again. Okay? And that's how you end up where I am with this organization. Shake the bean jar, filter through the funnel. Filtering the funnel means that you are doing trial runs. Every single one of them has a bean jar. Every single time I do it, it's another bean jar. Hundreds of people, hundreds of people, hundreds of people, hundreds of people. I'm going to get 2 out of that. You're just not doing it. You're just not doing it. There's nothing wrong with the business. And there's nothing wrong with you. That's the funny thing. The reason is you're just not doing it. What do you got to say about that?
Trial run, the process used to see if someone is right for the business. And if the business is right for them, isn't this beautiful? Through which they will lead to other potential prospects and customers, or in the final process, disqualify themselves, which is great. Half the time, I hope it won't work, because I don't want to have to bring up another teenager. You understand that? The trial run automatically guarantees that you'll have the right person, and you're not going to bring them in unless they can lead to the people and they're coachable and cooperative and committed to the 2 to 3 year plan. It solves everything, all the difference in the world. True or false? Trial run, test marketing. It determines if they know the right people, okay? If they're right for the business, if the business will work for them. I use a shopping annuity approach because I know that they're already spending the money, but I already have the BV going. And Dennis, I always tell them, the only problem with it right now is this company that owns the shopping annuity has a whole marketing mall without walls, and you got to sell some product, but I already got the solution to that. It'll be moving out the door. You won't even need to worry about that. And next year, you'll be able to sell the shopping annuity because I've been doing it. See, I've been doing it. The reason I know that is you always have to have continuity. You can't sell somebody on an idea, and then when the program comes up, it doesn't match the idea you sold them. So I cover my ass. People are entrepreneurial. You know them. They're all around. Don't sponsor down. Sponsor people better than you. Don't tell them how it works and that you know it all and you're successful. Tell them that you stink and you need their help. You know, people with networking experience. Oh my God, I feel so sorry for you. Why? Because it's horizontal marketing and you got to have at least 6 to 10 legs, and then it won't last unless you get 6 to 10 people under them. Okay? Well, is this network marketing? Or, well, they say, no, it's actually the reverse. It's actually the reverse. It's a tracking system that tracks, just like when you go to a movie and you tell other people, it tracks everybody that leads everybody. There's no levels, no redistribution of product, none of that stuff. And it tracks it, and when it hits certain volume levels, you get paid a residual income. I'd have to show you how it works. Now, does that answer satisfy them? Are you listening to this? I'm going to do whole seminars on it. I'm going to make you so good that you're going to have the belt. The shopping annuity UFO heavyweight champion of the world. You know? And as my good friend Lennox Lewis says, winning the fight is all in the jab. He's right. Great boxer. Only person who avenged every loss. It's almost like being undefeated. I know Mayweather's better, but they're different weights. Okay. Investigate. Let them lead to your people. Oh, I want their people. I don't want them. They're no good without their people. So I want to get their people first. Trick. It's a trick that works. And then, Big Al. Who's going to sponsor them? You or me. Or in the 3rd or 4th trial run, people are ordering products. Somebody wants to get in, and they got to get credit for them. So we all got to sign up instantaneously. Coordinator, executive coordinator. Santa Claus is real. You guys getting this? So I adjust to their level of comfort or expectation. I don't try to push them beyond it. This is really deep stuff. The lowest level is I'm going to get referrals out of them. It might be this bad. Now, this is like one of those multi-level things. You know somebody in that? Oh, yeah. My aunt was in it with this big dude from Baltimore. We had all these cars and stuff, and they went to all these meetings, and she lost her shirt. He said, I hope that she has nice breasts. You know? No, I mean, you know, the guy's giving me a hard time. I'm funny. You know what? If I wasn't doing the business, I would be a comedian. But at any rate, I make people laugh all the time. I say what everybody thinks, but nobody has the guts to say. So I take them to the next level. They got, I go with them. I either provide them more information or I go with them to see people. I say, you know that guy? Let's go see him. Let's go see him. We ride over. I stop in and talk to the guy. He can't do that, but I can. But that's my person. Much easier to find another great person through him than me finding them on my own. It isn't his person. It's my person. Wow. Maybe you'll wake up in the middle of the night on that one. Meeting around the kitchen table. That's where the business was built. It's how Dennis got in. It's how Rick Hannon got in. Rick Hannon found me. He's got Phil Guido in the Chinese organization. It's pretty solid 001, eh? Home kickoff. Okay, so I either do a trial run, and then once we get that going, I said, let's do a home kickoff. Let's get it out of the way, get everybody together, and I'll come in and do the presentation. You follow this? I'll bring a couple of my guys with me to book the follow-ups. Because it isn't about how many meetings you hold. Andrew, what do I say every time after every meeting? Len, what do I ask? How many follow-ups? Did you get the follow-up? The fortune's in the follow-up. It's not the meeting or how well you did it or how many great people are in. That doesn't count. That's not a first down. That's not a touchdown. It's a fumble. Did you get the follow-up? Time goes faster than me. Practice, 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 practice. Why? You've got to stop feeling bad. You got to stop having that terrible feeling. I know what you feel like. You really want it. You're here. And when you go to do it, you're just scared. I understand. Do you understand that I understand? I want you to have confidence. Practice, 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 practice. You're not going to play the trumpet or the piano well without practicing. You're not going to do the business well without practicing. Your music sucks. You can get better, though. Come surprise us. Listen to this one. Wow. You see, use the tools. The tools help you. So what is Market America? You should be able to respond. See, responding quickly, not avoiding, not stuttering is extremely important because people have sensors. You see, Market America is a product brokerage and an internet marketing company that specializes in one-to-one marketing and social shopping. Now, the worst thing, and maybe the best thing that can happen, is they say, well, what's that? Or how does that work? Or what do you mean by that? Oh, man, it's revolutionary. New technologies, okay? It's a disruptor. I'd have to sit down and show it to you. The guy's a barber. I say, you can't tell somebody how to do a haircut over the phone. You got to show them. You got to do it with them. Whatever. They're an electrician. You can't show somebody how to wire a house over the phone. I got to show you. Is this making any sense to you? Am I helping you? Okay? The best answer ever is, let me show you. That's the answer. Let me show you. And here's one I like. Let me see if you qualify. Let me tell you why. I might want to say goodbye. You getting this? Are you getting this? Okay. Book the appointment. You're chicken. You're unsure. You're going to flub up. 2-on-1s. Take somebody with you. While you're talking, they're thinking and watching the person. They fill in the thing that you missed. 2-on-1, you got them outnumbered. It almost always works. How many people have done a 2-on-1 this month? Okay. See, that works. Show the video. Don't send it. Be the commentator. You know the comment like on sports? One guy calls a play, the other guy fills in the color. You tell about what that means to you. Shopping annuity, great conversation. I'm in the dentist chair. I'm in, what do you call that person? Dermatologist chair. You know, I'm getting a haircut. Whatever happens, people are fixing the stereo. They talk to you. So I tell them about the shopping annuity concept and how the economy is ripping us off and how there's a new paradigm that's got to come soon and how online shopping has disrupted retail. And I got a technology that's incredible, you know, kind of like social media. But it tracks it. It puts a little piece of code in on everything that people buy and tracks it and accumulates it and pays you a residual income. So you're kind of like Walmart. They have lots of customers and they get credit for it. You get credit for it now. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I can go on and on and on and on. I'm dancing. See, when you learn the steps, which are what? The steps are the themes. When I know the themes, one theme connects with another theme. Do you want to lead or do you want me to follow? Because I can do either. And it just becomes natural. But you got to know the themes. Shopping annuity, converting spending into earning. Online shopping, getting paid to shop. Social shopping. The economy. Great story. Product brokerage, mall without walls. Internet marketing. Now look, you're not going to do these or learn these just by seeing them. You got to write them down, and I dare you on this one. I dare you to have a coring at your house. This really helps. Have the group there. If you're not good enough or strong enough or confident enough to do it, get the upline partner, the senior partner, and go over and practice each one of these themes. Now you're ready to dance. You don't trip. You look good, you sound good, and it works. Converting spending into earning, economic alchemy, digital aggregation, tracking system, a enthralling, intelligent, educated, interesting conversation. Not, you need to get in what I'm doing. Big difference? You bet. Assessment service. Tell the story of how it was created. Now, this dumb guy who used to be a biologist and was in some marketing things came up with this idea that people hate to be sold and they love to buy. He went to a movie and saw how everybody told everybody, and he came back to his wife and told him about it. She says, you don't have the guts to do it. So he set up a way to track what everybody wants and a marketing plan where everybody gets 100% credit for everybody else. And it turned into a $1 billion company. And I'm one of the guys that he took on for Sewell, New Jersey. And I'm going to head it up here. And I'd like you to take a look at it because I got the connections. Oh, I just made that up right now, you know that? But whatever he says, it connects. It's the dance. It doesn't matter, but you got to know these things. You got to be able to talk about them. Don't go out and prospect with no pants on. Does that make sense to you? Okay. Unfranchised versus franchise. Plan B. OPC3 or a product that lead to the opportunity. Because when they try it and other people want it, automatically they want to get the money. Young entrepreneurs, one-to-one marketing, any university major. Remember, 50% of the people who got into business got in it because of the product. And somebody that's already confident in a market area, they always have connections in that area, that's a natural to bring them on board. You know. So we got all of these things. Here's an audio on it that teaches. Andrew Weissman is my clone. He actually did it for me. It goes over all of the answers for the themes. Learn the themes, practice the themes, come up with your own themes. Themes. Not that you want to get in. A conversation that makes you look smart and cool. That's how it's done. Is this helping? Are you worn out? Yo, you sit there for 2.5 hours. I stand up here and shout for 2.5 hours. Which is harder? We connect the themes, okay? Themes lead to themes. Does that sound like something that you would like to learn, not get in, more about? Is this helping? Okay. We teach people how to make money doing that after the theme talk. Is this making sense? You don't know what to say, do you? You get tongue-tied. You fumble the ball. You trip. You feel bad. You go home and suck your thumb. And then you don't do it for another month. I know what's going on. You're a master recruiter. You use the tools. The tools, okay? Tools are like tools. It's easier to hammer a nail in with a hammer than a rock. It's easier to saw wood with a saw. You follow what I mean? They make it easier, but they don't replace filling the bean jar. And they don't replace knowing the themes. So we have all of these tools: flip chart, getting started guide, about MA PDF, shop.com, marketamerica.com, and custom websites. I use them all. And they're impressed. I got an arsenal. I'm pulling shit out of my rear end. Look at this, look at this, look at that, look at this. You know, they say, wow. I impress them. I know about all that stuff. I use it all. I'm just like you. I'm just like you. Except I got tired of losing. I got tired of failing. Oh, and I know that you can change that. Become a master recruiter. Asking questions, lots of questions. Answer a question with a question. Don't answer with an answer when you don't know if it's going to win the game. Ask another question. See, in the workshop, I'm going to do all this. When the Moving Up seminar, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. And I'm going to work you over and turn you around. And you're going to go out there and you're going to say, get out of my way. You know? All you need is some confidence. Okay? So, people talk about what's happening. They wish, they complain. All you need is the wish or the complaint to feed it and ask them more questions. What do you mean you have to work 60 hours a week? That's not fair. Oh, yeah, they made me do this. Oh, my God. You ever think about getting another job? Oh, I can't because, you know. They'll tell you their whole life story. And guess what? Because you listened, they love you. They don't even know why they like you, but I'll tell you why it is. You listened. Wow. They want to do something with you before you ever bring it up. Is this making any sense to you? Okay, so they don't know if you make a mistake when you bring something up. Nobody has ever seen the plan before. So if you mess it up, they've never seen it. They don't know that you made a mistake. But the way Andrew and I do it is when we do the plan, I open, he says what he has to say, and we have different people do parts of it. And whatever they say doesn't matter because we're the commentator. We add in, so nobody feels like somebody unqualified or new is showing the plan. You might blow my people out. It actually gets everybody even more convinced and believing because the people there are saying that this is what I do. I like this. I believe in this. Let me tell you about it. And they get really good, don't they? Don't they, Lynn? So at the end of 3 or 4 levels, they're all showing the plan. because it's experiential learning, and we did it with them. Oh, wow. I mean, this is magic. There was nothing wrong with the business. There was nothing wrong with you. You just didn't know what to do. I got to ask you to stop trying to beat the system and do what we show you this weekend and why. Just give us a chance. Do it our way. Please just give us a chance and see if it doesn't work. Then bitch later if it doesn't. Is that fair enough? So that I don't have to be fighting it all the time. And the only reason that we put so much into it is I know what makes the MPCP that you love so much work. Those things that you love about it that are different is like defying gravity. I mean, just think about unlimited people getting 100% credit with no dilution. And that's staying in the system for a year. And all the different things that can be done to play with that. And the plan is actuarial. It's not over at the end of the month, like everything else, where they just reset the volume. Too bad, the guy above you made all the money and you lost out. This thing is amazing, but it doesn't come without a lot of math, requirements, tracking, and controls. And when you beat them, you're basically taking the vacuum from underneath the wings of the plane. And gravity takes over and it will crash. I have an awesome responsibility. I never expected to have it. I have an awesome responsibility to make sure that things are done right and that the plan is self-reconciling. And that it works financially. And that there's no regulatory questions or violations. We've been the poster child. But when you do certain things that break that, we're in jeopardy. Imagine one day waking up and not having an MPCP like this with all the beautiful things about it that allows it to fly when other people can't. Imagine there not being a residual income check. Because you see, residual income is what it's all about. It's usually reserved for the privileged. You put time into something and make something like an invention or a movie, and you get paid after you put the time in without putting any more time in year after year after year. Usually you have to be rich. It's reserved for the elite and the privileged, but we made it possible for the average person. So what's come out of this is thousands of people have found a better way of life and have a residual income or have added to their income so that a mom can stay at home and not be a latchkey mom. That's all it means. It's only $1,000 a month, but it's everything to her. And there's another person that was going to lose their home, but because they hit it and there's residual income, they're able to stay in it. And then there's another person that was nothing, and they rose to great stardom and have beautiful cars and a beautiful home and a shining example as an entrepreneur in their community that pulled themselves up from their bootstraps. And that family is dependent on that six-figure income. I have an awesome responsibility not to let that stop. And some of the things that you do could make it stop. So that's why I get riled up. That's why we block it. That's why we prevent it. Because residual income is not residual income without longevity. And beyond that, there are practices that we did not build the business with in the beginning. They are not what work. They're not for long-term success. I want to build it to last. I don't want to build it again. I want to do it the right way so I don't have to do it again. What about you? You see? Okay, so one thing that really bothers me, I was going to get to the how I built the whole company and why the requirements are in there and how they work together and how everything happens. I'll try to fit it in somewhere else. Because I think it's really important for you to see how we built this from day one and why everything is the way it is. Why does somebody purge when they don't do any requirements or are not active for 90 days? Why don't they just flush? There's a good reason for it. There's a good reason for everything. And it all fits together. Preserving and reconciling the mathematics, balancing the equation of an incredible system that depends, just think about accumulation in a leg and what people can do in the other leg. Accumulate. And everybody's on a different clock. This clock got 5 and 5 and resets to 0. But this clock didn't make it yet. They're only at 12 and 12. And this clock has a Q date a month from now. It doesn't go out. So all these clocks are working differently, and money's going out and in of the system. And there's a timing factor to it, a rate of change, which is calculus derivatives. So all this had to be figured out. It's mathematically sound, proven, actuarially, and you mess with it. Threatening whether that check could come in the future. I got to do something about it. Why? Because I have an awesome responsibility to preserve those residual incomes that people got into this and believed in and are earning. I got to make sure they come on forever. We have people, you know, some of you are getting old or you're getting up there. You need to get some people that were the age you were when you got in before it's too late. Listen, Izzy Siciliano still earns a 6-figure income today. There's been over 20 people that died that were over the national level, and their family still gets the residual income today. You understand that? So, here's my point. How long have you been in? Well, I've been in 6 years and 3 months. You have? Yes. And what level are you? Well, I'm only a coordinator. I hit a couple times, and then one of my legs, you know, got unbalanced, fell apart, so I'm one-legged. Oh, I see. Okay, so let me look at your thing here. I see you haven't sponsored anybody in a year. You know, you missed your requirement one time. You're not even a master unfranchise owner. See, a master unfranchise owner has an open business. Now, what I mean by that, if you buy a jewelry store, if you buy a tire shop, if you buy a hardware store, if you buy a consulting business, it's only in business if you are there and it's open and you have product and bringing customers in. True or false? You have to do certain things. You buy a McDonald's franchise and have no employees and don't show up and don't do it. It's not open. You might have paid the money. You might have signed the contract, but it ain't open. True or false? Okay, so there's people that go to school. They go to law school. They have a degree, but they don't have a practice. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't make them a bad person or anything. It's just they're not open. Are you getting this? Now, a lot of you are doing yourself a disfavor, and you're degrading the plan. And you're making it bad for the rest of us, but I'm only really concerned about you. What you're doing to yourself as a measurement and as internally thinking about your own success and confidence. You know it's a 2 to 3 year plan. And most of you are here and would not be here if you didn't know it worked. True or false? But you're wondering if it will work for you. You know it worked for these guys. You know it works for other people. And maybe it worked for you a while ago, but you shut the doors of the business. It's okay. You're allowed to do that. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not a bad person. You're not a failure. Let me tell you something about life. You know, people come to me. Andrew saw it the other day. Guy said, nice little girl, one of Lynn's meetings, said, "This looks too good to be true. What's the catch?" I said, "That's an interesting question. There's two catches. One, you won't do it." You hear that? Two, it's dependent on timing and people. And people have different timing. And you may bring some people in and count on their timing. And they're growing, but things happen to people. They lose their job, they get sick, people die, kids get in trouble, they move, they lose job, change job, all types of things. Anybody here have any problems? Or did God spare you? People have problems. And it's not that it consumes their energy. It consumes their focus. They get sick. They get religious and go on a mission. They get political or a cause, and they go after it. They're not putting as much time into business, so the volume doesn't continue to grow, or it starts to drop. And your timing was dependent on their timing. That's the catch. And there's ways to overcome that, and it doesn't have to be a problem at all, but some people fall into that trap. That's the catch. Now what do you think of the business? Because I'll show you the problems in other businesses that overpower that and make it look silly. So, this is the results. You can read faster than I can talk, I hope. Look at the results. This is a difference of what happens when somebody is a master unfranchised owner, which is doing some fundamental things, not even really doing it the way it needs to be done, which means do the basic 5 every week, 8 to 15 hours a week, every week of the month for 3 years, 2 years. Now, if you didn't do anything in a week, you didn't make a list, you didn't have a goal statement, you didn't do 2, you weren't open. Is that true or false? Why are you counting that then against yourself? We all know that we're in kind of a mental race against the clock. And you start measuring at 2 to 3 years, I didn't make it. I don't earn 6 figures. I didn't quit my job. Tell me that argument don't go on in your head. Tell me. It's not fair. It's not fair to us, and it's not fair to you. And we need to stop it. You need to stop it. You need to forgive yourself. You need to be honest. Okay? So, what is a master unfranchised owner? Are you one? You're not? Oh, but I'm a national supervising coordinator. It's funny, you're a national supervising coordinator. At one point in the business, you were doing the basic 5 and somebody was doing it with you, or that'd be impossible. But it's closed now. It's closed. Because you can't possibly be doing the business without these measurements. So, these are the things. A subscription to unfranchised systems, these are things that you need to be open. Purchase 1,500 BV of product. Now, you're selling product and you're using product. If you're not even going to use the product, oh, come on. You own a hardware store. You own a hardware store. Okay? You pick another one if you don't like hardware stores. You own it. And you got all these products on the shelf at wholesale. And now you need nails and a hammer. Do you go down to Walmart or Lowe's and buy the hammer and nails at retail when you have them on your shelf at wholesale? Huh? Why? It's stupid. And you're not stupid. That's all there is to it. That's why that. You don't buy somebody else's product at retail when you got it at wholesale. You're not open. Come on. You saw the things. Meet the retail and activity requirements. I added that, Andrew. Personally sponsor one qualified unfranchised. One. Personally sponsor one. Oh, I already got two. Huh. Sponsor one. I'm showing you 8 a year. Sponsor one. One more. Just one more to be open. Okay, you're not going to do it. You're not open. Stop counting the time. It's okay. Still get your check. That was from before. Are you getting this? That's residual income. Okay. Complete the basic 5 diagnostic test. Why? You're going to at least know, you don't need to do anything about it, that the business isn't growing because there's certain things that you're not doing. That's your choice. But don't blame it on the business. You hear me? Don't blame it on the business. Okay, so the guy says, I've been in 3 years. I said, wow. You making 6 figures? Ha 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 ha! No. Says, that's what my wife always asks me. My wife is against it. She's negative. That's your excuse? Yeah. I said, buddy, let me tell you something. Your wife isn't negative. She's positive. She's positive you've been a fool your whole life. And she's positive that if you bring in some green stuff, she'd get behind you. But you're not open. And you're lying to her, and you're lying to me, and you're lying to yourself. I don't care about you lying to her or me, but I do care about you lying to yourself. So, where's the clock? I want to jump to the clock. Okay, so look, here's the point. If you're not a master UFO, unfortunately, you're not open. So the clock's not ticking. Is that fair? Come on, give me a break. Is that fair? Is it fair? Do you agree that you're not open? That's hey, it's not my fault. The business is not bad. You're not bad. You're just not open for whatever reason. It's your, I don't have control over that. You got control over it. But you're not open. That's the fact. Okay. Now, when you are open, how many weeks? Now, you know how you can go back in your calendar? I had this terrible experience in my life where I got audited for New York taxes for being a resident. And I had to prove every single day that I was not in New York. You know how hard that is to do 3 years later? Prove. So the reason I bring that up is if you go back in your calendar, you can kind of remember what was happening that month. If you look at what's going on. If you had to document it, it would be really hard, like I had to do. And then when you have that type of experience, you measure things and you document them as you go. I just never knew that you had to do that. But at any rate, and you didn't know that you had to do it for the business, did you? So there's a similarity. But now, you're going to go back, and the best you can, recall what was going on then. Now, you know what way it was. Did you read your goal statement every day? No? Okay, well, at least once a week. Or did you even have a goal statement? No. Well, right there. That's why you're failing. You have no map. What do you think? It's just going to happen? Come on, guys, listen to me. It's not just going to happen. Everybody I worked with had a goal statement, what had to be done each month, each week and day. They knew exactly how they were going to get to the next pin level. And I held them accountable. Is that happening with you? Not open. Are you getting this? Let's go a little further. 2 a week. You don't even need to get to the 2 names a day possibilities. You still got 80 people on the list of 100 that you haven't even asked to evaluate it. What's holding you back from that? You already know them. All you got to do is call them. What about that? How about a year ago? So you go back and you know the periods. And there's no pain in this. There's no downside. There's no punishment. There's only an upside. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you guys understand this? Are you listening to me? Or did you shut me off already? You didn't raise your hand. I'll stop. Think about this. Think about it. You come up with the estimate of how many weeks you actually really did the business over the last 3 years, or 6 years, or 10 years. And if you did it for 10 years and haven't done more than 6 months or a year in the last 10, hallelujah, the business works really well. You get it? But don't blame it on the business for it not growing beyond that. You ain't been open. It's okay. That was the deal. I understand. But don't make yourself look bad. You're not doing what you used to do. I want to get back in there. I had so much fun, guys. Andy, I mean, we had so much fun. We got old pictures of us at these meetings now, the crazy things we did. And we made it happen. I want to go back and do it again because it was so much fun. Just for fun. I don't need the money. This is not about money to me. This is about a cause. It's about changing the world. I don't need to do it anymore. I'm crazy. I'm from outer space. I'm bringing it home to earth. I'm going to do it one more time. I want you to do it with me, but you got to be open. So look, take a look. Set that clock back. I want you to commit to me to do this. Fill out the form so I can personally look at you and go back and audit yourself. How many months in that 2 years, that 1 year, that 3 years, that 6 years, can you honestly say, if you were being audited, that I can prove this if I had to? And this is how much time I put in. And I got distracted. My wife had breast cancer. Then we had a kid. Man, then I lost my job. Okay, that's legitimate. You win. But don't judge the business by that. And don't judge your performance by that. Because it's not fair. And it's not right. And you're damaging your belief. You understand that? Turn that clock back. I want to know what your clock really is. And you need to know it. It's so important that you need to know it. That you're not doing that bad. And tomorrow is the first day of the rest of your life. And you can open that business back up and do it the way we did in the beginning and be a star. Yeah, you were in 6 years ago. You only put a year in. Since then, it's only been 3 months. You're only a professional coordinator. Well, what about going director this year with me and you doing it this way? What about it? It starts as soon as you set the clock back. You can't do that, though, if you don't set the clock back. If you don't send me that form, what are you hiding? It doesn't matter what it says. It's like God, it's like Jesus. They forgive you for everything. I forgive you for everything. But if we're going to be born again in this business and live it and succeed and make money, we have to confess in order to get redemption and to start again. Do you understand that? Don't get hung up on the religious context. It's about belief. It's about reality. It's about solutions. And I'm giving them to you. And you can do it. You can do it. But I want that clock to be back at 3 months. You're just starting. You haven't been in for 3 years and failed. Is that a deal? Is that a deal? Is that a deal? Is that a deal? Yeah.